After a tough Friday night where Tri-City was finding home run balls left and right, the Evansville Otters got runs on the board early and often last night to even the series at 1 game apiece and, more importantly, force a rubber match this afternoon. Good evening. I'm Matthew Will, joining you here from historic Bosse Field as the Evansville Otters and Tri-City ValleyCats do battle for one final time this season. With the win last night, Evansville has now recorded a win, at least one, against every single team in the Frontier League. As they did get to play every team this year, now they can say that they're one of the few teams that has got a win over every other club. This is a tough Tri-City team who's going to make them work for this series deciding win on a Sunday evening. Olvis Parra is going to be on the mound this evening for this Tri-City club. Though his ERA is at 7.01, don't let that cloud what you think of him. 2-3 record this year, has some good stuff. And if he is on his game, Tri-City can follow him through the gates to a victory. Evansville is going to ask Ryan O'Reilly to close out this 3-game set. O'Reilly is a strong righty up on the mound who has kind of been up and down all year long. He has a couple of really solid games, but they've kind of been complemented by a couple of tougher games on the mound for him. Otters hope they get a strong one for him this evening to grab this series win and close out the schedule against the East Division. I want to take a second now to look through the Frontier League standings as they stand today. Of course, there is a little bit of moving and shaking that's already starting to go on today because there's already games underway. Washington is leading the way in the West Division. Otters are 4.5 games back at 37 and 27. Schaumburg lost last night, so that increases the gap just a little bit between Evansville and Schaumburg. Joliet and Lake Erie, both 10 games back. Watch out for that Lake Erie team. They are really starting to put a push together. Gateway's the last team that's holding close, as there's a pretty big gap down to Florence and a really big gap down to Windy City. On the east, it's still all Quebec, but because they've lost 2 straight nights at Washington, Ottawa has climbed back up to 5.5 games back. Sussex County, Trois-Rivières, and Tri-City, as well as New York, are all very tight there in the 3 spot, trying to decide who would be the final playoff spot team over there. A note about Empire State. They are well on their way to potentially getting a win today, but because Sussex County lost or won earlier today, Empire State has been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. That's the first team thus far who has been eliminated from postseason contention. Keep an eye on Windy City. They're next in line, but their tragic number is still north of 20. This is quite a big game for both of these squads in the grand scheme of things. Of course, Evansville trying to keep themselves close near the top of the table, but Tri-City is in a spot where if they lose today, they could fall back to 6th place in the East Division. After spending a lot of time in the top half, that would be a very tough way for them to enter this last stretch of the season. Otters are going to, again, bring out an interesting looking lineup as they're trying to give a couple of guys rest and trying to find what's going to be best going into this last month of the season. There was a lot of impressive performances last night, none bigger, in my opinion, than Brian Rosario, who continues to impress in his first few games in professional ball. Last night, 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Great to see that. J.R. Davis as well had a great night, 4 for 4 with 3 RBIs. A lot of strong performances from the Otters last night. But there is, as you can see on your screen if you're watching on Flow Sports, a couple of differences as Bisharot gets an opportunity and Dones returns to the lineup. As for Tri-City, it's still Cito Culver, Brantley Bell, Paven Parks, and Dennis Phipps who get things started at the top of that order. That is a scary top 4. When those 4 are hitting the ball well and getting efficient at-bats, they are very scary to deal with. Brad Zunica can be thrown in that conversation as well. Jesus Lujano sitting in the 6th spot. Joey Campagno returns after not playing last night. Mitch Pionik is going to get a 2nd straight start, and Carson McCusker rounds out the lineup there for Tri-City. Olvis Parra on the mound for Tri-City. Ryan O'Reilly on the bump for the Otters. An intriguing matchup there on the bump. Intriguing lineups for both sides. We're excited to see what takes place in a rubber match on a cloudy but beautiful Sunday evening here from historic Bosse Field. Don't go anywhere. First pitch between the Otters and the ValleyCats is next here on the Otter Sigil Network and Flow Sports. Anthem has been sung, lineups have been read, and we're ready for baseball on a beautiful Sunday evening from Evansville. Want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball right here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by our friends at Working Distributors Evansville. And without further ado, to the mound we go. Ryan O'Reilly, the starter for the Otters this evening, looking to extend what has been a solid year for him thus far. 5-4 record on his season. He has started 11 games, or 9 games, appeared in 11. He came in twice in relief of Steve Pastora. Got a batting average against just under 300, and has found ways to be consistent all year long. In his last start against New York, he gave up just 1 run on 5 hits in 7 1/3 innings. It was a rock-solid day for Ryan O'Reilly. He'll look to keep it going this evening against a tough Tri-City team. Cito Culver, Brantley Bell, and Paven Parks lead the way, playing short, second, and third base. Dennis Phipps is the cleanup man, batting in the DH spot. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Brad Zunica. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Jesus Lujano. Batting seventh is the catcher, Joey Campagna. Batting eighth is the center fielder, Mitch Piotnik. And batting ninth is the right fielder, Carson McCusker. This evening, it is Ryan O'Reilly on the mound and Jacob Bisharat behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Final warm-up pitch has been thrown, and we are ready for baseball here from Evansville, Indiana. Big game on hand. The series is decided tonight. An opportunity for Evansville to put themselves a little bit closer to Washington on the line, and on the side of Tri-City, a chance to keep themselves right there in the playoff hunt. Cito Culver, the switch hitter, is going to bat lefty today against Ryan O'Reilly, making his way to the plate as we are ready to start this game. Beautiful weather this evening. We're sitting in the mid-70s. Nothing but clouds, a little breeze as well. Perfect night for baseball. First pitch to Cito Culver. Comes home 5:04 this evening. And it's fouled off to the left side. Oh and 1. The official count for Cito Culver. Defense set up straight up all the way around. Culver's a guy who can send it just about anywhere on the diamond. A hefty swinging strike, too. Has him back in the count now. Culver will be followed by Brantley Bell and Paven Parks, just like usual. That is a difficult 3 to start off the game pitching against. An 0-2 to Culver. Just graces outside for ball 1. Good to see Rosario remaining in the lineup this evening. Has had a rock-solid start to the beginning of his professional career. He's out and left today. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Cito Culver. And before O'Reilly can deliver the pitch home, time is called by Culver. Big deep breath from O'Reilly. Pitching out of the windup. The righty sends home the 1-2. Outside yet again. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-2. Swung on and missed. It's a German-American Bank strikeout to start the day for Ryan O'Reilly.
German-American Bank strikeout.
Now, of course, this is the first start for Jacob Bisharat there behind the plate.
Batting second and second base.
He has appeared a couple times in just little opportunities here or there. And Bisharat has been, it's a brand new professional out of Miles College. As the first pitch comes home to Bell for a called strike. Miles College in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, where last year, or I guess just this last year, in his senior year, Bisharat batted .367 at the plate. 0-1 to Bell, sent hard to the right side. Long run for Dones, and he gets past him as he goes diving towards it. And it's a 1-out base hit for Brantley Bell. This time we want to walk you through the defensive alignment for the Evansville Otters this evening.
Third base, 13.
Brian Rosario out there at left,
Parks.
Miles Gordon in center, Jeffrey Baez playing right field. Across the infield, J.R. Davis at third, Andy Armstrong at short, Tyler Dones at second, and Zach Biermann is at first. The game, Jacob Bisharot behind the plates. Haven Parks now makes his way to the plate as the first pitch comes home. Stays outside, gets a little away from Bisharot. They're going to run towards second. Bisharot will not try to deliver a throw. And a pass ball allows Brantley Bell to get himself to second. Pitch work towards the outside edge and just snuck out of the glove of Bisharot. Little time taken here before the next pitch to Haven Parks. One-0 stays low for ball two. This one, Bisharot's able to keep in front of him. So Bill will remain out there at second. O'Reilly taking a little time to get set before the 2-0. The glance out towards Bell at second, and here comes the 2-0, where a called strike on the outside edge. I want to introduce you to the men that are keeping this game in line. Roberto Pattison is the man calling balls and strikes behind the plate. James Purnell is the umpire on the left side of the infield. Tyler Thurmond is the umpire on the right side of the infield. 2 balls, 1 strike to Haven Parks. Runner in scoring position and 1 out here in the top of the first. Ball is sent foul into the netting to the left side, and the count evens up 2 balls, 2 strikes. Otters hit the road after this one. 3 games at Lake Erie. 3 huge games at a surging Lake Erie team. First pitch is set for 7:05 on Tuesday evening. You can catch the game right here on the Otters Digital Network. O'Reilly taking his time looking in for the sign. Ready to go on the 2-2. Called strike 3 on the inside edge, and it's a second German American Bank strikeout for Ryan O'Reilly.
German American Bank strikeout.
Nice located pitch on the inside edge.
Batting
grabbed him out number 2.
12, Dennis Phipps.
So now with 2 outs and a runner on second, the Frontier League's top RBI man, Dennis Phipps, makes his way to the plate. Coming into today, 68 RBIs for Phipps. That's 7 higher than second in the league. Phipps is also the Frontier League's leader in home runs. He's got 24 of them, one of which is a grand slam here at Bosse Field last night. First pitch to Phipps is outside ball 1. And a good stop by Bisharot. Not a ton of wind today. It's been kind of off and on, little breeze here and there. As of right now, though, flag is pretty much dead out there in center field. A 1-0 comes home to Dennis Phipps. Cranked down the third base line, but foul. Bell is a quick runner out there, so he will obviously try to do whatever he can to get himself home in this scenario. One ball, 1 strike to Dennis Phipps. With 2 outs and a runner at second. Stays outside for ball 2. Again, we try for a 2-1 with 2 outs and a runner at second. Ryan O'Reilly trying to get himself out of this first inning after the 1-out single. 2-1 stays high and in. The count goes to 3-1. Hasn't been a problem yet, but Bisharat has had a couple of throws back to O'Reilly that have been a little bit all over the place. Got to be careful with those throws back up there. Don't want to give up a free base to anyone. 3-1, the count for Dennis Phipps with 2 outs, runner out there at second. Swinging strike 2, hefty swing from Phipps, takes the count to full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Dennis Phipps. 2 outs, runner on second. We're still scoreless here in the top of the first inning. 3-2 is launched out towards left center field. Gordon chasing back towards the warning track, and he hauls it in for out number 3. Hard hit ball, but it won't matter. We've played 1/2 inning. Still scoreless from historic Bosse Field.
Thanks, Stephen.
To the bottom half of the first we go. We turn our attention to the mound where Olbis Para receives the baseball, ready to help lead Tri-City through this game. He enters the game with a 2-3 record, a 7.01 ERA, but you can't really let that dictate the type of pitches you're going to see from him. He has had some on and off success this year, and surely a man that can help lead this team to a victory. He's pitched 60 in a third innings. He's given up 47 runs on 68 hits in that time. He does have 52 strikeouts to his name. His one downfall is that he's given up the most home runs on the team with 12. Evansville would love to capitalize on that. The men facing Olbis Para this evening, Miles Gordon playing center, who's the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game. Batting second, the left fielder, Brian Rosario. Batting third is the designated hitter, Steven Sinsley. Batting fourth, the third baseman, J.R. Davis. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Zach Biermann. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez. Batting seventh is the shortstop, Andy Armstrong. Batting eighth is catcher, Jacob Bisharat. And rounding out the lineup is the second baseman, Tyler Dones. Last night, Miles Gordon was impressive, 1 for 3, but he had 2 walks as well. Ended up scoring 3 runs in the game. And he retains his title as the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game. Final warm-up pitch has been tossed home, and we are ready for the first opportunity for Evansville offensively as Miles Gordon makes his way to the plate now.
Edward Jones. Leadoff back of the game in center field 6, Miles Gordon.
Miles Gordon, known for his speed and athleticism defensively, trying to back it up with some solid offensive work. Entering our game today, Miles Gordon worked himself up to a .280 average. He's collected 61 hits this year. First pitch to him is a called strike to kick things off. Otters are wearing their primary blue jerseys with the white script Otters written across the front. White numbers on the back, white pants, and the all blue caps with the white fronts for Evansville this evening. Tri-City sticking with the black jerseys with red numbering on the back and red Tri-City written across the front. A 1-1 to Miles Gordon. catches the outside edge and has Gordon a little back in the count now. He didn't seem to agree 100% with it. Turns and asks for clarification from Roberto Pattison as he steps back in for the 1-2. Parra kicks and delivers. The ball is launched out towards shallow right field. Very shallow right. Bell actually is underneath it at second. I'll bring it in for out number 1. To the left fielder we go in Brian Rosario, who has played in 4 games for the Otters and has 13 at-bats in that time. In those 13 at-bats, he has 9 hits for a .692 batting average. And even more impressive, no strikeouts to his name. He has been very effective right out the gate here in his professional career debut. Not to mention, he has a lot of speed out there in left field. Almost tracked down a ball in the left field bullpen the other day that would have been unreal. Sends the ball out towards left, and on the run making the catch is Lujano for out number 2. We've seen Lujano play just about everywhere this week now, as he started the series in center, played right last night, is in left tonight. At this point, we do want to introduce you to the defensive alignment for Tri-City tonight. Lujano, Piotnik, McCusker, left to right across the outfield. In the infield, it's Parks at third, Culver at short, Bell at second, Zuniga at first. Joey Campagna runs things behind the plate. Steven Sinsley ready for his first opportunity of the evening. It takes a first pitch strike. Last night for Sinsley, one of the many Otters with multiple hits. He finished 2 for 2 with 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and 3 walks. He reached base in all 5 opportunities last night. 0-1 home to Sinsley. It's sent high and foul to the left side. Will get out of play.
Overhead foul ball.
And quickly his count drops to 0-2.
Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Otters not quite off to the start they were last night. Sinsley looking to extend this inning. Swinging strike 3, and that'll be it. 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom half of the first. We've played through 1, still searching for our first run here in Evansville. Beautiful evening for baseball. We played through 1, and we're still searching for our first run here from Evansville. Ready to go for Tri-City are the 5, 6, 7 hitters of Brad Zuniga, Jesus Lujano, and Joey Campagna. Brad Zuniga makes his way up to the plate as the first pitch comes home to him. He's right back up the middle, through for a base hit into right center field. And for back-to-back innings, Tri-City's got themselves a base runner via a base hit.
Batting 6th, the left field, 8, Jesus Lujano.
So to Jesus Lujano we go, the left fielder this evening. In last night's game, Lujano got himself a base hit in the 4th ended up going 1 for 4 in the game. On Friday night for Lujano, he had a solo home run that kicked off the second inning, backed it up with another base hit later in the game. First pitch home to Jesus Lujano, swinging strike one on the low inside pitch. Runner at first is, of course, Brad Zuniga, with no outs here in the top of the second. The 0-1 to Lujano. Cranked into right field, down it for a base hit in front of Jeffrey Baez. And the second starts with back-to-back singles for Tri-City.
Batting seventh and
Both of those
catching
balls just really well
Joey
hit.
Campagna.
That'll bring up the catcher, Joey Campagna, who did not play in last night's game, but in Friday night's contest went 0 for 4, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and a pop-up. O'Reilly taking his time to look in for the sign from home plate. First pitch home to Campagna is a called strike. Ball did get away from O'Reilly for a second there on the throw back up. There's runners at first and second with no outs here to kick off the second inning. The 0-1 stays high and inside. Count evens up at 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Reilly's ready to go on the 1-1. He's got runners at first and second behind him, nobody out. Ball is sent out towards left field. Long run for Rosario. He is underneath it, though, for out number 1. Rosario does a good job to cover lots of ground out there in left field. Make it look fairly easy, too. Mitch Piotnik now makes his way to the plate, manning center field yet again. In last night's game, he reached in 3 of 4 opportunities, 2 singles and an error. That error that allowed him to reach really opened the door for Tri-City in the third. If it hadn't been for that error, I don't think they would have had that little run of a couple of runs there in the third. First pitch home to Piotnik, sent out towards left center field. Rosario plants underneath it, and we'll bring it in for a second straight out. This situation certainly feels better now. After back-to-back singles led off the inning, back-to-back flyouts to left, have Ryan and O'Reilly in a place where he could end the inning. Carson McCusker makes his way to the plate. Did not play in last night's contest, but on Friday night went 1 for 5 with a single and a couple of strikeouts. Before anything can happen, McCusker decides to call time. McCusker stands at 6'8" there in the box. First pitch home is low outside, ball 1. Ryan O'Reilly allowed just 1 run his last time out. Would love to improve on even that. One ball, no strikes to McCusker. Ball stays high and inside, and it's now ball 2. Long wait for Ryan O'Reilly. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. Ball sent right back up the middle. Jones is there. He'll step on second for the 1 out the Otters need. back-to-back singles started off the inning, but it will not come back to hurt the Otters. We've played through 1.5. We are still scoreless from Bosse Field. To the bottom of the second we go. Evansville trying to be the team that hops on the scoreboard first and gets to dictate play. They'll ask the 4, 5, 6 hitters of J.R. Davis, Zach Biermann, and Jeffrey Baez to do such. Also want to take a look through the Frontier League standings yet again. There are a couple of things that have already gone down today, but as it stands, Washington is still 4.5 games up on Evansville here in the West Division. Over on the East, because of back-to-back losses by Quebec, Ottawa has drawn to within 5.5 of the Capitals. First pitch home to Davis, comes in for a called strike, and it's an unfortunate heartbreak for the Empire State Grays. They allow 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning and lose to Windy City. So close to a series sweep there by the Grays. Not able to get it done here on Sunday afternoon. 0-1 stays low and outside. Count evens now for J.R. Davis, who went 4 for 4 in last night's game. Count evened up for Davis as the pitch heads his way. Way inside, he's just barely able to get out of its way. The count goes out to 2-1. We'll get you through some of the other Frontier League scores, as we've already got 4 games final this afternoon. 2-1, sent out towards center. Piotnik chasing back towards the warning track, and that's where he'll make the catch for out number 1. Hard hit ball, but not quite to the right place. Zach Biermann due up next for Evansville. The first baseman had 1 hit in last night's game, and it's a 2-run double that happened in the first inning. Helped bolster that big first inning for Evansville. Sussex County defeated Florence on the road earlier today, 6-5 in favor of the Miners. It was a late run in the 9th that gave them an opportunity to win that game. First pitch to Biermann, sends on the ground towards the second baseman, Bell, who will play it on 2 hops over to first in plenty of time for out number 2. So to the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez, we go. Jeffrey had last night off as Rosario manned left field for him, and tonight Baez gives Elijah McInerney the night off, playing out in right field. Baez last played on Friday night, where he went 1 for 5 with a run scored. Jeffrey Baez is playing in his 920th career game this evening. He's clocked nearly 850 hits in that time as well. An 0-1, getting set to come home to the right fielder, Jeffrey Baez. Pushed out towards right field. McCusker working over, and it gets past him. There goes Baez towards second. He might try to stretch for three. There he goes towards third. A slide into third is the tag in time. No, it is not. A two-out triple for the big man, Jeffrey Baez. Didn't really seem, once he got about halfway between first and second, he didn't really seem to have any intentions of even stopping at second. Didn't really even glance out towards the ball. He was ready to go. And because McCusker tried to get to the ball too quickly, got past him and allowed extra bases for Jeffrey Baez. So now the shortstop, Andy Armstrong, will have a chance to bring in an early run. First, there's going to be a quick meeting of the minds. Andy Armstrong missed a few games after jamming a finger a couple of weeks ago. They were all precautionary games just to make sure everything was good to go. And he returned to the lineup on Friday night. And even though it hasn't been the biggest showy offensive couple of nights for him, the defense has immediately returned and given Evansville some hope, as his defensive work is recognized across the league. 2 outs, runner at third. Here in the bottom of the second, Evansville trying to break through first. Parra ready to deliver home to the shortstop, Armstrong. First pitch strike, high inside corner, it's called. Defense playing in on the corners and fairly deep on the insides. The 0-1 for Armstrong. Low and outside, able to lay off as Andy, and his count advances out to 1-1. Good crowd on hand here for a Dog Days of Summer, rounding out the weekend here at historic Bosse Field. A 1-1 towards Armstrong is just graced back towards the netting, and he's going to have to fight from behind in the count. Good group out there on the Corona patio deck as well this evening. A 1-2 to Armstrong, pushed out towards right field. Long run for McCusker towards the foul area. He slides and it bounces just foul. Had that ball stayed any more fair, it likely been caught. That was a long run for McCusker out there in right field. So Armstrong will make his way back to the plate and have to try again on the 1 and 2. 2 outs and a runner at third. Schaumburg finally got their revenge on Ottawa, got a 3-1 win today. Schaumburg had dropped the first 2 games of that set at home. Trois-Rivières wins the series at Joliet with a 5-2 win up there near the Windy City as well. 1-2 to Armstrong. Extending the hands and striking out as Armstrong. We've played 2 full, still searching for a run here from historic Bosse Field. Ryan O'Reilly and the Evansville Otters return to the field, trying to keep these ValleyCats at bay. Tri-City has had men in scoring position in both of the first 2 innings, but O'Reilly's been able to work around it. He'll look to continue doing so as Tri-City heads back to the top of their order. Cito Culver, Brantley Bell, and Paven Parks due up here in the half inning.
Shortstop 27, Cito Culver.
Celebrated Christmas in July here at the Otters last night. Celebrating a dog days of summer here on a gorgeous Sunday afternoon. You know, the sun has stayed away because of all the clouds. The temperature has stayed down in the mid-70s, and it's been a perfect day for baseball. First pitch home to Culver. Ball's in for a called strike. Bases are empty, of course, with no outs as we start off this top of the third. And an 0-1. Fired home towards Cito Culver. Pitch stays just a hair outside. And the count evens up. Team returns home this Friday night for E is for Everyone nights. Come join us for a celebration of Evansville. Post-game fireworks included in the night as well. Ball sent on the ground towards Armstrong at short. He'll play to first in time for out number 1. So Friday night, as Gateway comes to town for the final time this year, it's Indiana 8-1-1, and E is for Everyone, sponsoring that E is for Everyone night. It's also Girl Scout night at historic Bosse Field, and again, post-game fireworks. Going to be here at the ballpark. Would love to see you out here. 6:35, first pitch. First pitch home to Brantley Bell. Inside, ball 1. Series continues on Saturday night as Hoosier Lottery and the EBSC Foundation join us for a Saturday night of baseball lottery scratch-off giveaways as well that night. And then the series concludes 1 week from today, another dog days of summer, but keep an eye on the calendar. That's the first 12:35 first pitch of the season. A 2-0 to Bell. Catches the zone for a called strike right there on the inside edge. Also, make sure you hop on to EvansvilleOtters.com and check out the schedule. Figure out what nights you can make it to the ballpark. After tonight, only 12 home games left. Ball inside advances the count to 3 balls, 1 strike. O'Reilly taking a few extra seconds to kind of get set up on the bump. 3-1 comes home to Bell. Cranked down the third base line, but just foul.
Our team president, John Stanley, is currently chatting with John Rumble. Great to have John Rumble back at Bosse Field. Enjoy the rest of your game.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Brantley Bell. "3-2. Outside ball 4. Bell's going to reach for the second time today. And it's a 1-out runner on for Tri-City.
Third baseman, number 13, Paven Parks.
Paven Parks makes his way to the plate, struck out looking his first time up. O'Reilly staring in towards his catcher, Bisharot. First pitch comes home. Outside, gets away from Bisharot for a second. The throw out to second looks good. Did they get him? Yes, they did. Jacob Bisharot says, "Do not run on me." And guns down Bell on his way to second. So it's now 2 outs, nobody on for Tri-City. Bell disagrees with the call. He gives a couple of thoughts to James Purnell as he runs past the third base umpire there. A 1-0 to Paven Parks is good for a called strike. Count evens up at 1-1. Great crowd out there on the Corona patio deck as well. you have a group of friends or coworkers or just about anyone you want to bring to historic Bosse Field, enjoy Otters home game, contact our front office at 812-435-8686. They can figure out the perfect night for you to go hang out there on the Corona patio deck. One of the best places to watch the game. You get an all-you-can-eat menu, unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Perfect for you and your family and friends. 1-2, the count to Paven Parks. O'Reilly kicks and delivers. Zoomed out towards right field. Baez running back towards the warning track, and he makes the catch over his shoulder for out number 3. We're through 2.5. Still scoreless here from Evansville. As we enter the bottom of the third inning, we're still looking for the game's first run. Evansville will be the one to try to do it now with Bisharot, Jones, and Gordon due up. They had a good chance in the last half inning as Jeffrey Baez picked up a 2-out triple, but was not able to do anything with it. So taking his way to the plate is Jacob Bisharot.
Nathan catching 24, Jacob Bisharot.
Taking his time to dig in his Bisharot. Now he's ready to go. First offering here of this game. Pitch comes home for a called strike, low inside corner. This is the very first professional at-bat for Jacob Bisharot. First chance to make his presence known. Foul tipped back into the netting. He's back in the count 0-2. He's followed by Tyler Dones and Miles Gordon here in the bottom of the third. An 0-2. High inside for ball 1. So Bisharot steps back in on a 1-2. Low outside, easy for him to lay off, and the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Defense set up in straight up positions all the way. A 2-2 to Jacob Bisharot. A half swing, but it's outside for ball 3. Score update from Lake Erie. The New Jersey Jackals currently leading the Crushers 9-3. They're in the top of the third. And in the bottom of the fourth, Quebec has a 1-0 lead at Washington. A 3-2 payoff pitch is pushed off foul to the right side. Bisharot will live to see another pitch.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Second taken as they clear the ball off the field. Here we go on a 3-2 payoff pitch to Jacob Bisharot. High inside, he's going to earn himself a walk.
That's a Deerhead Sidewalk Cafe and Bar.
So with the runner at first and no outs, Tyler Jones makes his way to the plate.
Tyler Jones.
Jones steps in and is ready for his first opportunity. Shows bunt for a second. It stays outside for ball one. Jones is officially batting .200 in his 3 games. He's 2 for 10 with a double and 2 RBIs. In fact, both of his hits have RBIs attached to him, including his first professional one. A 1-0 count to Tyler Jones. See if he shows bunt again. He does. And it's fouled into the catcher, Campagna, who immediately hops back up after a couple of seconds and will walk it off like he went off his foot. A couple extra seconds taken just to reset things. Counts at 1-1 for Tyler Jones with a runner at first and no outs. See if Jones is still committed to the bunts with just 1 strike. Jones steps in for the 1-1. Runner at first, nobody out. Already showing bunt. Extends the hands, low and outside. He falls back to count 1-2. We'll have to make contact now. One runner on. That's Jacob Bisharot after his leadoff walk. Jones trying to do something before Miles Gordon comes up. The 1-2 coming home. Again showing bunts is Jones right back up the middle. They'll go to second for the 1 out. And they will get the lead runner. So certainly not where Jones wanted to put that bunt. It was risky to bunt with the 2 strikes anyway.
Edward Jones lead off back the game in center field number 6, Miles Gordon.
Officially it's 1-4 on the cutout there. With Miles Gordon making his way to the plate now. A pop-up to his name thus far, but in last night's game, Miles Gordon had a base hit and 2 walks. The Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, ready for his first pitch of this at-bat. With 1-on-1 out, there goes Jones towards second. There will be no throw. So give a stolen base to Tyler Jones. And despite not a huge sample size, he's got himself a first stolen base of his career. And time is called as the catcher Campagna is going to go have a quick meeting of the minds up there. Very quick. One the count to Miles Gordon with a runner in scoring position now and just 1 out. At this point now, it's as if the bunt had worked successfully. Campagna delivering the signs to his pitcher Parra, who is forced to step out. A 1-0 to Miles Gordon with 1 out and a runner at second. Taken low and outside for ball 2. Very methodical pitching here from Olvis Parra, not wanting to give an inch. 2-0. Zoom to the first base side, but just foul. It was a very good jump there from Jones near second that he was going to surely get himself to third easily. So it's same place we just were, except now a 2-1 count to Miles Gordon. Still runner on second. Still 1 out. And time is called at the plate. Neither side wanting to give an inch. The 2-1 catches the zone on the outside, and Miles Gordon's looking at an even count. Forces Gordon to now have to likely swing the bat on everything close to keep himself in contention. The 2-2 for Miles Gordon. He's on the way from Parra. Stays low. Great stop by Campagna to keep it in front of him. And now with 1 out, we have a full count to Miles Gordon. Payoff pitch for the center fielder, Miles Gordon. 1 out, 1 on. Pushed out towards left field. Lujano making a run towards it in foul territory. Almost loses his footing, but is able to bring it in for out number 2. And unable to advance is Tyler Dones. So to Brian Rosario we go. He lined out to the left fielder his first time up, just
13,
barely.
Brian Rosario.
Just about had himself a hit. Rosario has had a very solid first few games. This is a great chance to keep it up. First pitch home to Rosario for a called strike, low outside corner. Still out there at second is Tyler Dones. 2 outs and a 0-1 count to the left fielder, Brian Rosario. High outside for ball 1. Count evens up. Defense is playing fairly deep, just trying to make sure they can grab the sure thing out. Swinging strike 2 has Rosario back in the count. Hefty swing. A 1-2. Called strike 3. Rosario thought it was a bit inside for his liking, but that ends our third inning. 4 combined hits in this one. Still looking for a run here from historic Bosse Field on a Sunday evening rubber mat in Tri-City in Evansville. We kick off the fourth inning with the 4, 5, 6 hitters of Dennis Phipps, Brad Zunica, and Jesus Lujano. First pitch home to Phipps. Comes across for a called strike one. Of the 3 hits Tri-City has thus far, 2 of them are within these next 3 batters. An 0-1 to Phipps. Good for a called strike two. You know, that's one thing that, you know, outside of the grand slam yesterday, the Otters have done a great job of keeping Phipps at bay. Finally, he unloaded for a big hit yesterday. Luckily, it didn't come back to haunt the Otters. But in the grand scheme of things, they've done a very good job of keeping him fairly quiet in this series. O'Reilly shakes off a couple of pitch decisions. Finally has one he likes. On the 1-2. Pushed foul to the right side.
Red foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Again, O'Reilly saying no to a few pitches before firing the 1-2. Zoomed into left field. Rosario will chase after it, but it will fall for extra bases. Finally, Rosario gets it up, but it is a stand-up double for Dennis Phipps to lead off this 4th inning. And just like that, it's a huge opportunity for Tri-City.
First baseman, 48, Brad Zunica, who's our Booster Lottery strikeout out of the game.
So the first baseman, Brad Zunica, makes his way to the plate. Singled to kick off the 2nd inning, but was not able to come around and score as O'Reilly was able to grab 2 quick flyouts to right in that inning. O'Reilly's going to step off to keep Phipps close out there at second base. First pitch to Brad Zunica. O'Reilly's ready. The glance out towards second. The pitch comes home. It's fouled off the foot of Zunica for strike one.
Happy birthday to Trace from all of his sisters. They love you. Go Otters, and they want Evansville to win this game for Trace. Happy birthday, Trace, and thanks for joining us here at Bossy Field.
0-1 the count for Brad Zunica. The runner on second and nobody out. O'Reilly glances out towards second, fires home on the 0-1, extending the hand a ton with Zunica, and he drops back 0-2 in the count. See, that's the thing about Zunica in this 3-game set thus far. He's seen a lot of 0-2 counts, but he's worked them into lots of favorable situations, whether it be a walk or a base hit. The count for Zunica. O'Reilly says no to a couple of pitch decisions, finally nods his head. We'll try to snag Zunica with an 0-2. It's pushed off foul to the left side. Rosario will commit for a little while, but it ends up in foul territory. In and out of the hands of a fan. Out there in the left field, party tins. No balls and 2 strikes for Brad Zunica. He's already fouled 1 pitch away here on the 0-2. Again, O'Reilly shaking off a lot of pitches. The look out to second. And the 0-2 to Zunica. Bounces in. Good stop from Bisharov. Defense has a fairly big hole on the left side. In between Armstrong and Davis. They're between short and third. But other than that, straight up on the right side. A 1-2 for Brad Zunica. Extends the hand, pushes it foul. There goes the catcher and Davis, but it's going to get onto the roof. And even though Davis makes a catch, does not count. We'll have to do it all again. It's a scary situation, especially when you have a brand new catcher like Jacob Bisharop playing here at Bosse Field, and he goes running after a foul ball over there, because people who have not played here before really have no idea how much space they've got before these dugouts come out of nowhere. A 1-2 to Brad Zunica. Swinging strike three. It gets away from the catcher. And they will just throw down to first for the sure thing out. On the play, though, Phipps was able to grab himself third. But it is a German-American Bank strikeout for Brad Zunica. It's the third of the day for Ryan O'Reilly.
Coming right up. But first, left fielder 8, Jesus Lujano.
Jesus Lujano, who's 1 for 1 in the game thus far, now with a chance with 1 out and a runner at third to give the game its first run. First pitch home, put down the left field line, fair. A run's going to score, and it's extra bases for Lujano, who will grace his way into second. An RBI double has given Tri-City the lead. Just sat it down the left field line and gives Tri-City a 1-0 advantage all the way here in the top of the fourth.
Catcher 16, Joey Campagna.
In a game that kind of felt like it was going to be ages till we finally saw a run, it belongs to Tri-City. Ryan O'Reilly gets himself set on the bump. A look out towards second. The first pitch home to Joey Campagna is outside ball one, gets away from Bisharop. And yet again, Tri-City has a man on third. So there is another shift out there. And right now there's a quick meeting between the catcher Bisharop, the third baseman J.R. Davis, and pitcher Ryan O'Reilly. Much longer meeting than I expected. Good on J.R. Davis to go over there and talk with him, and seem to be just giving a little emotional support there as well, trying to get through this tough fourth inning. So with 1 out and 1 on, Joey Campagna has a chance at a 1-0. Comes in for ball 2 on the outside edge. Two balls, no strikes. And it's lifted out towards center field. Chasing back is Gordon. Has himself underneath it for out number 2. The throw in will not be attempted towards home, and a run's going to score on the sac fly RBI. So the bases are now empty. That's because runners have come home to score on back-to-back plays. It's now a 2-0 advantage in favor of the ValleyCats. Tri-City just chipping away at it right now. Optioning to go with a few hits back-to-back-to-back and getting themselves an opportunity. First pitch to Piotnik is lifted high and foul to the left side. Davis thinks he's underneath it, and indeed he is in foul territory for out number 3. But not before Tri-City gets the first runs of the game. First on an RBI double from Lujano, then a sac fly RBI. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. Tri-City up by a pair. Well, the bad news for the Otters is they now trail 2-0. The good news is it was a couple of hits that gave Tri-City the lead. It wasn't walks. It wasn't errors. They were true earned runs, which it's been the unearned runs that have haunted the Otters this weekend. Probably could have won the opening game of the series had it not been for the errors and especially all of the walks that they gave up. So it's good to see that right now that is not the cause. Steven Sinsler set to start off this half inning for the Otters. He'll be followed by J.R. Davis and Zach Biermann. By the way, Billy Easley back over in the first base coaching box tonight. It had been Boots Day the last couple of nights, but Billy's back with the team and remanning first base over there. First pitch home is a called strike to Steven Sinsley. Just like usual, though, it's the head man, Andy McCauley, manning things over on the third base side. Steven Sinsley already back 0-1 in the count. Pitch comes home, almost in the same place for ball one. One and one count to Steven Sinsley. Nobody out, nobody on here in the bottom of the fourth. Takes a pitch a bit inside for ball two. Sinsley can push something to the left side. There is a huge gap between the shortstop Culver and the third baseman Parks. As my good friend Bill McEwen could say, you could probably fit multiple semi-trucks parallel parked in between there. 3-1 now to Sinsley. Well in control of this count. Would not be surprised if we saw Sinsley have the green light here. So Olbis Parra will fire home on the 3-1. And it's low for ball four. Sinsley gets himself on base to kick off this fourth inning.
That's a Deerhead
fourth walk of the last 2 days. So J.R. Davis, 4 for 4 in last night's game. He's currently 0-1 in this game. Is looking to keep this fourth inning going strong for Evansville after a leadoff walk. Flag is almost completely still out there in center, just a tiny little flapping out towards right center field. First pitch to Davis. Misses on the outside edge, ball one. Parra staying patient up there. 1-0 count with a runner on and nobody out. J.R. Davis waits at home for the pitch. 1-0 stays outside. And Davis takes a further lead. The pitches are close, but they're just not close enough to even be considered strikes. And Parra's got to find a way to still challenge the zone without giving up hits. Only hit of the day so far for the Otters belongs to Jeffrey Baez, a triple back in the second. Pitch well inside is ball three, and J.R. Davis way ahead in the count now. So Davis trying to make it back-to-back walks to kick off the fourth inning. A 3-0. Misses again, low and outside. Back-to-back walks have kicked off this fourth inning for the Otters. They've got 2 on with nobody out. Zach Biermann makes his way to the plate, 0-1 on the day. Boy, would this be a great time for a beer bomb. Could give the Otters a lead. Could help Biermann get his batting average back up there to the 300 levels. First pitch to Biermann. is sent high and very shallow to left field. Dropping back is Culver. He's called off by the left fielder Lujana, who brings it in for out number 1. So it ends up being a pop out to the left fielder. That'll bring up the right fielder Jeffrey Baez. Had that triple his last time up, and man, would have been nice if it was this at bat with 2 runners on.
Right fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
Although there's not a lot of breeze, it is blowing currently out towards right center-ish. So Jeffrey Baez can make some solid contact and drive something out towards left center. He might get helped by some wind. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Jeffrey Baez ready at the plate. First pitch is outside, ball 1. It does seem as if Parra is trying to go at that outside edge as to not let the Otters get solid contact. Of course, you got to be careful with Jeffrey Baez. You give him something where he can extend the hands. A lot of the time, you're not seeing the baseball again. A 1-0. Baez sends it chopping right back up the middle. Parra will just play for the 1 out at first. There are now 2 outs with runners at second and third. The right side as it advances the runners. The downside as the Otters have 2 outs.
The shortstop, number 8, Andy Armstrong.
Andy Armstrong will try to be the one to do it. His second straight at bat with runners in scoring position. First, a discussion up on the bump for Tri-City. One of the things I've noticed, I mean, just about probably all of us have noticed, in this 3-game set, Tri-City really takes all of the mound visits they can. Always want to keep their pitcher in a good situation. Davis is at second, Sinsley's at third, and Andy Armstrong is at the plate for the second straight at bat with huge RBI opportunity. His last time up, he struck out on a pitch at high and outside. First pitch to Andy Armstrong here with 2 outs and 2 on. Lifted up towards right field. McCusker chasing towards it is underneath it, and that is out number 3. Otters start off the inning with back-to-back men on. They can't bring either home, though, and we've played through 4. Tri-City still leading 2-0. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball, the Otters Digital Network, and Flow Sports is presented by Budweiser, the king of beers. Ryan O'Reilly set to throw his last couple of warm-up pitches. We're getting closer and closer to that halfway point in this game. Tri-City has the narrow advantage, but it's just the only difference is a couple of base hits. So it could have been right back in it themselves.
Have you seen them in the outer round lately? Make sure you tell them hello when you do. Everyone's excited to see.
Of course, we still have the 4 games final today, but in the 4 that are still going on, you know our score, 2-0 in favor of Tri-City. Gateway out to a 2-0 advantage against New York. They're in the bottom of the 2nd inning right now. New Jersey up big at Lake Erie, 11-3. They're in the top of the 4th right now. And Washington trying to get the sweep against Quebec. In the top of the 6th, the Wild Things lead 3-1. Can anybody stop the Wild Things right now? First pitch is outside, ball 1 to Carson McCusker, who grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. It ended the inning without allowing Tri-City to grab a run. 1-0 is put out towards right center field. Long run for Miles Gordon, but he's there in time, makes it look easy. Out number 1.
Back to the top
Off
of
the
order,
bat, it looked
shortstop,
like it was
27,
surely
Cito
a base
Culver.
hit. So we head back to the top of the order where Cito Culver heads to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the game, a strikeout and a groundout to his name thus far. In last night's game, he had a couple of base hits, so trying to right the ship tonight once again. First pitch to Culver. Stays low, ball 1. One ball, no strikes. And the pitch stays high inside. Ball 2. And don't forget that the Otters hit the road after this one. 3 games at the red-hot Lake Erie Crushers before they come home to face Gateway for the final time this year. 2-0 to Culver. Zoom down the right field line. Is it going to stay fair? No, it will not. That ball was hit very hard down the right field line. The foul ball takes the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. That's certainly something Tri-City has done well all series long. Hit the ball with authority on multiple occasions. A 2-1. Ooh, a slow pitch there. As the off-speed Grace is in for a called strike 2. Sets up an important 2-2 pitch to Cito Culver. Ball is just barely fouled back into the netting. Count remains at 2-2. Defense is in their normal positioning all the way around. For the leadoff man, Cito Culver, they're always in that position because he can hit the ball anywhere. A 2-2. Sent foul to the right side now, and Culver continues to work this. Counts very, very deep. O'Reilly is getting ready to toss pitch number 60 here as we're sitting in the top of the 5th inning. He's been quite efficient in this game. Another ball sent foul into the netting. While he's been efficient, Culver is trying to work that count up single-handedly. And this is going to be the 7th pitch of this at-bat alone. Two-two for Cito Culver. Swinging, strike 3, and Ryan O'Reilly's got himself another German American Bank strikeout.
That's a German American Bank strikeout.
Make it 4 on the day.
Second baseman 9, Brantley Bell.
And that one is good for O'Reilly's 125th in his career. O'Reilly just trying to slowly but surely work up those strikeout numbers. Brantley Bell at the plate now. Ahead in the count 1-0 early. Another pitch inside. Counts 2-0 quickly. O'Reilly finished 2021 with the 4th best ERA in the Frontier League at .289. Earned his first professional win at Gateway. Two balls, no strike for Brantley Bell. Ball stays just a hair outside. Bell's way ahead in the count, looking for his second walk of the day. Huge gap right up the middle as the Otters are playing pretty normally on the outsides. A called strike brings O'Reilly a little bit closer. 3 balls, 1 strike. Quebec trying to claw back at Washington. Now just a 3-2 game over there in Washington, Pennsylvania. The Otters take their first trip to Washington in just a couple of weeks' time. August 19, 20, and 21. They are there at the Wild Things. And then they'll go back there a week and a half later. One of the last couple series of the year. A 3-2 to Bell. Lifted out towards center field. Gordon will chase back towards the warning track, but he won't get close. It's out number 3 in the top of the 5th inning. Tri-City continues to lead by just 2. Otters will try to change it at the plate now here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We're at the Center Point Energy, center point of the game, in Evansville trailing 2-0 here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Pleased you're joining us here on either the Otters Digital Network, our audio-only free version of the games here on our Otters YouTube page, or if you're joining us here on Flow Sports for video. We're glad to have all of the Tri-City faithful tuning in as well. Glad you're rooting on your team here on a Sunday evening from historic Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana. It's a gorgeous evening for baseball as the temperature's in the mid-70s. Clouds are keeping the sun out of the picture. A little breeze is keeping things cool. Perfect night. First ball comes home for a hit by pitch to Bisharot. He says he got hit, and the umpires are going to meet to discuss if he did or not. It sounded like it hit the hand, and immediately Bisharot was wincing at his hand, but I guess we'll see what they decide. Bisharot's going to make his way to first and assume that he gets it. We'll see what the men in black decide as they meet there next to the pitcher's mound. They'll point towards first and say that he was hit by a pitch. To lead off the 5th, the Otters have a man on base. That's 3 straight innings they've got the leadoff man on. And immediately, the headman for Tri-City, Pete Incaviglia, heads out and lets his voice be heard. He's not too happy with it.
Second baseman number 18.
Brings up Tyler Jones, the 9-hole hitter, with a runner on first and nobody out here in the 5th inning. Evansville looking for a couple of hits that they can string together and get themselves back in this ball game. First pitch home to Tyler Dones. He shows bunt. It's right back up the middle. Picked up by Parra. He'll go to first this time, and it's a successful sacrifice bunt for Tyler Dones. Well, regardless of what happens today, the Otters cannot finish with a winning record against the East Division this year. With the win, they finish 11-12. With a loss, they finish at 10-13. The only way that they could jump over that, of course, would be playoffs if they made the Frontier League Championship Series. But technically wouldn't count against the regular season record. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon at the plate now. 1 out, 1 on. Crank to the right side, through for a base hit. They're going to send Bisharat home. Will there be a play at the plate? The throw is home, not in time. And the Otters have their first run of the game. And as Bisharat grounded third, he looked like he tripped up, but he immediately, after sliding home, is grabbing at that hamstring on the right leg. Wonder if maybe he pulled something around at third.
Left fielder, 13.
But it is an RBI double for Miles Gordon. I say that, but it's possible that they just gave him a single. It is a single, and Gordon advances second on the throw. So that'll bring up Brian Rosario with a man at second and 1 out. Evansville on the board now. First pitch home. Rosario fouls it off to the left side. Rosario's 0 for 2 in this game after
choose the best. Never regret.
Being very efficient in his first few games. First pitch to Rosario, sent towards short on a couple of hops. The throw to first is in time just barely, but Rosario does advance the runner to third. Officially it's 6-3 on the fielder's choice. Gordon's going to reach third. There's 2 outs, and Steven Sinsley is making his way to the plate. First pitch to Steven Sinsley. Pushed foul to the left side. Gordon stands there on third.
Choose the best.
The Otters are 90 feet away from tying this game up. Boy, would that be huge to gift that to their pitcher. Give them a chance to hop right back into it. Ball sent right back into the glove of Parra. And look what I found play. He tosses to first. Evansville will score 1, but leave a man at third once again in this game. And we head to the 6th. Evansville trails by 1. the sixth inning we go. Evansville was able to grab a run, but ended just short on grabbing a second as Steven Sinsley unluckily put a ball right back into the glove of Parr on the mound. And because of it, the inning ended abruptly. A runner got stranded at third. Evansville only able to bring one across. I want to remind you that Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Old National Bank. Your bank for Evansville, your bank for life. First pitch across is ball one on the outside edge. To Paven Parks. Dennis Phipps and Brad Zunica will head to the plate afterwards. First pitch, or the next pitch home, is a called strike. Now it evens up at 1-1. By the way, a change in catchers. It's now Justin Felix behind the plate. So something must be up with Jacob Bishrod after he was rounding home. One and one to Paven Parks. Pitch comes home, and it's fouled off to the left side.
Overhead foul ball, brought to you by Hits Construction. Choose the best, never regret it.
One, two, swinging strike three. That's another German American Bank strikeout for Ryan O'Reilly.
Designated hitter, 12, Dennis Phipps.
That's 5 strikeouts on the day for Ryan O'Reilly. Dennis Phipps makes his way to the plate. He doubled in the fourth inning, and that led to Tri-City's first run of the game. Zooms the ball towards J.R. Davis at third. He'll play the ball across to first in time for out number 2. So a couple of quick outs. Have 2 on the board with nobody on. And
First baseman,
Brad Zunica heading to the plate.
Brad Zunica.
First pitch to Brad Zunica. Cranked up the middle into the glove of Dones. He'll throw to first in time for out number 3. Very quick out and very quick inning for the Otters. We're through 5 1/2. Evansville trails 2-1 in this one. J.R. Davis making his way to the plate to kick off this bottom of the 6th inning. Evansville finally cashed in the 5th, but left a man stranded at third for the third time tonight. And third straight inning, in fact, that Evansville left a man at third, and now they're trying to find some more success. Davis looked to start things off with ball one a bit low. Davis will be followed by Biermann and Baez here in the half inning. The three have combined for just one hit. Baez had the triple back in the second. The 1-0 to J.R. Davis. This one's taken for a called strike in that low inside corner. Boy, has it been a beautiful night for baseball here from historic Bosse Field. Sitting in the mid-80s, cloud coverage, perfect night. 1-1. Called strike on the inside edge. Davis didn't like that one. And now he's going to have to fight a little bit from behind. The 1-2, swinging strike three. And J.R. Davis is going to sit down with a strikeout, his first of the day, the fourth for Ole Miss Para.
First baseman, 45, Zach Biermann.
First pitch home is a called strike to Zach Biermann. The 0-1. Biermann lifts it high and foul to the left side. Over there is Parks, and he'll bring it in for out number 2. Quick couple outs, as Jeffrey Baez is now the one making his way to the plate.
Right fielder, 33, Jeffrey Baez.
Jeffrey Baez making his way to the plate. And starts off with a called strike one. First pitch is skied high and foul to the right side. Zunica's over there in foul territory, and that's out number 3. Very quick half inning for the Otters, and because of it, we head to the 7th. In the back third of this one, Tri-City leads by 1. In the top of the 7th we go. The The back third of this one, and Jesus Lujano will kick us off. He's 2 for 2, a single and an RBI double so far to his day. He'll be followed by Joey Campagna and Mitch Piotnik. First pitch home to Lujano. Outside, ball 1. A 1-0. Way inside, just about hit Lujano in the ankles. And it must have hit him. Looked like it might have bounced in and grabbed him for a hit by pitch to Lujano.
Catcher 16, Joey Campagna.
So Lujano's got on base all 3 times. Campagna heads on base now. He is 0 for 1 with a fly out to left and a sac fly RBI thus far to his name. Time taken real quick as they had to grab one of the elbow pads. Catcher Campagna from Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. At the plate now. Decent lead over there for Lujano at first. First pitch coming home to Campagna. Cranked out towards the left field. Rosario's going to watch it fly. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Joey Campagna. And just like that, Tri-City leads by 3. That's something this Tri-City team does very well, and they've just done it well again. Right off the bat, that was just a question if it was going to stay foul or not. First pitch to Piotnik is a swinging strike 1 on the low inside corner. The 0-1. It's a hefty swinging strike 2 from Piotnik. The 0-2. Swinging strike 3. And it's a German American Bank strikeout for Ryan O'Reilly. His 6th of the day. That'll bring up the right fielder Carson McCusker, who's 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a fly out.
Right fielder 33, Carson McCusker.
Bases are empty. There's a hefty shift to the left now as the second baseman Dones is playing on the left side of second base. A half swing doesn't matter. It's a called strike 1 on McCusker. The 0-1. Grace is a bit too far outside, and the count evens up. A 1-1. Zoomed out towards left field. Rosario's going to watch this one fly too. It's another solo home run for Tri-City. Make it 5-1 now. The second home run of the inning. And that's going to cause a man to start to get warm for the Otters out there in right field.
Back to the top of the order, shortstop 27, Cito Culver.
And looks like we will have a little meeting up there, at least between Felix Davis and O'Reilly. Vinny Santasiero is starting to throw out there for the Otters in the right field bullpen. might get to see San Sierra here in this 3-game set. Cito Culver, the leadoff man, back at the plate. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts so far to his name. First pitch home, misses for ball 1. Well, this game had seen a combined 3 runs before this inning, and now it's seen 3 in this inning alone. 1-0, falls in for a called strike, and the count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. A 1-1 to Culver. Pushed out towards left. Chasing back is Rosario, and he grabs it for out number 2. That'll bring up the second baseman, Brantley Bell.
Second baseman
He's reached base in 2 of his 3 opportunities. His most recent chance, a fly out to center. First pitch home, stays inside ball 1. First offering home to Brantley Bell. Zoom to the left side, right into the glove of J.R. Davis. That's out number 3, but not before 3-run score for Tri-City off 2 separate home runs. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Otters now down by 4. Bottom of the 7th inning here. Olbas Para still going strong for Tri-City. And his bats behind him have given him a little bit of extra to work with. It's now 5-1 in favor of the ValleyCats. Otters are going to have to get their offense going very quickly down to their last 3 innings of offensive capability. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters that'll be going here in this half inning. Andy Armstrong, Justin Felix, and Tyler Dones due up. The good news is I do see Jacob Bisharot back with the team on the bench.
Shortstop number 8, Andy Armstrong.
He's standing up there at the railing, so it makes me think that whatever was up with the hamstring that he grabbed on his way around third is at least doing better now. Well wishes with him, of course. First pitch to Andy Armstrong. In for a called strike 1. Armstrong's 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout so far in the game for him. The 0-1 pushed out towards right field. Long run for McCusker towards the warning track, and he is able to haul it in for out number 1. So now Justin Felix will make his way to the plate for the first time tonight, as he is in there in place of Jacob Bisharot. Felix appeared in last night's game, of course. Had a solo home run in the 2nd inning. was his first home run in 29 days. Felix digging in, ready for the first pitch of this at-bat. 1 out, nobody on. One 0 count for Justin Felix, the new catcher in this game. Stays low and inside, so Felix takes a 2-0 lead in the count. Finally starting to get a little bit darker here in Evansville. A 2-0. Catches the outside edge. Two balls, one strike to Justin Felix. There's 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Comes off the handle of the bat and evens the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Felix getting ready for a 2 ball, 2 strike opportunity. Felix still waiting on the 2-2. Finally, Parra is ready to send it home. It's off the tip of the bat and drops into the dirt. So the count remains at 2-2. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th, Justin Felix trying to kickstart a bit of a rally for the Otters. That's what they're going to need. A 2-2 coming home. Cranked out towards left center field. Lozano chasing back towards the warning track up the wall, and it's off the Budweiser sign out in left field. Justin Felix, oh so close to a second straight home run game. It's going to be a double instead. That'll set the table for the Otters to start to work their way back into this one.
Second baseman, number 18, Tyler Jones.
And for Evansville, that was just their 3rd hit of the entire game. Yet the Otters have had plenty of base runners. The first pitch to Tyler Jones, the second baseman. Stays high and inside, ball 1. He's not showing bunt in this at-bat. One ball, no strikes for the second baseman, Jones. 1 out, runner at second. It's a swinging strike 1 on an outside pitch. One and one for Tyler Jones. Swinging strike 2 has Jones back in the count. One ball, 2 strikes for Tyler Jones. Ball stays high and outside. Count evens up at 2-2. Even count for Tyler Dones. Big chance for him to keep this line moving. Pushed out towards center field. Long run in for Piotnik, and it drops in front of him. The throw to third is not in time. There's runners at the corners for the Otters. Good heads-up play there from Justin Felix to grab himself an extra base. Miles Gordon has one of the 4 Otters hits in the game. He's supposed to come up next, but first there's going to be a meeting at the mound. Looks like we could have a pitching change here. And on his way to the mound, Pete Incaviglia stops at home plate to talk to home plate umpire Roberto Pattison. Now he makes the nod down to his left field bullpen. We'll let you know who the new pitcher is for Tri-City right after this. Otters trying to make a push back into this one. They trail by 4 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitching change for Tri-City. It's going to be Adam Hofackett on the mound now for the ValleyCats. They've got a new catcher in as well in the form of Austin Elder, who appeared in last night's game. This call to the bullpens presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Hofackett on the mound and Elder behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give him a call at 812-475-9000. Edward Jones, leadoff hitter of the game. Miles Gordon makes his way to the plate. Huge RBI chance for him. First pitch home is outside ball 1. There's runners on the corners with just 1 out. Gordon already has an RBI hit on the day. 1-0. Grace is outside for ball 2. Been quite the series for Miles Gordon. RBI single in this game. Last night, he had himself a double and 2 walks, and on Friday night, had a bases clearing triple. 3 RBIs on that at bat. A 2-0 for Miles Gordon. Pushed out, foul to the left side. Will get well out of the way.
Brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best rubble, never regret it.
Still looks like it could be Vinny Santorciero coming in the half inning for the Otters. But I could be wrong because now both Kevin Davis and Augie Gallardo are also walking over towards the bullpen. Ball catches the low part of the zone for strike 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. A lot of people disappointed with that strike call. But it does even the count up at 2-2. Ball sent on the ground to the right side. Bell will play it over to first for 1 out. So run's going to score on the fielder's choice. Felix comes home to score. Dones goes to second. Officially, it's a 4-3 fielder's choice RBI for Miles Gordon.
Left fielder 13, Brian Rosario.
Left fielder Brian Rosario, who's 0 for 3 on the day, now making his way to the plate. Rosario has had a big couple of weeks as he started his career with the Otters. Having a tough night so far tonight, though. Rosario shows bunt. Ball stays outside, and it's ball 1. Evansville within 3 now. But because of that last half inning, the game is not level. Instead, it is that 3-run advantage in favor of Tri-City. A 1-0 towards Brian Rosario. Swinging strike 1 evens the count up. Of course, Rosario turns back and asks home plate umpire Roberto Patterson, that have been a strike. Should I have swung at that? Ball stays out of the zone, and Rosario retakes the lead 2-1. A 2-1 to Rosario. Cranked out towards center field. Piotnik will chase back towards it and bring it in for out number 3. Evansville grabs a run, but still trails by 3 as we head to the 8th inning. Otters are going to need some offense soon. See if we're going to have a pitching change as we head to the 8th inning right after this on the Otters Digital Network. A pitching change needed for the Otters as we head to the 8th inning. Then Vinny Santasiero will head into the game to make his first appearance of 2022. Brought on to give the Otters an extra arm here in these couple of weeks. This call the bullpens presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Santasiero on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Haven Parks, Dennis Phipps, and Brad Zunica due up in the half inning. First pitch comes home to Parks for ball one. Sands Sierra already ready for the 1-0. Way inside ball two. Defense set up with a big hole to the left side of the infield. Sands Sierra has the 2-0 come home towards Parks. Hit right at Biermann at first. It gets past him all the way into the Otters bullpen. It's going to be extra bases. Baez finally gets the ball. The throw in is after Parks has got in with a leadoff double.
Designated hitter, 12, Dennis Phipps.
So now that brings up Dennis Phipps. Got to think that a run here by Tri-City puts this game under lock. Be a lot for the Otters to come back for anything more than this the 4-run advantage they saw last half inning and 3 now. First pitch to Dennis Phipps with a runner on second and no outs. Way outside, gets past Felix. And the runner Parks is going to get to third with no outs. So the whole defense is going to come in and try to prevent the run from scoring. Ball just graces outside. Count goes out to 2-0. A 2-0 pushed way foul to the right side.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Two balls, one strike. Ball is pushed to the right side, foul yet again.
Here to let you know that overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
A 2-2 pushed foul to the right side will end up in the party deck over there. Two balls, two strikes to Dennis Phipps. A runner at third and no outs. Otters trying to limit the run from scoring. Swinging strike three as Phipps chases that one all the way out of the strike zone, all the way out of the batter's box. And it's a German-American Bank strikeout. The first of the game for Santos Sierra. So that'll bring Brad Zunica to the plate with one out. Runner still at third. First pitch is in for ball one on the outside. A 1-0 to Zunica. And a called strike one evens the count up. One, just barely put foul to the left side, out of play. 1-1. 1-2 is outside. Count evens up at 2-2. So with the count evened up at 2-2. Brad Zunica's at the plate. And it's again fouled back into the netting. Big time chance for Vinny Santasiero to lock the game where it's at. Pushed out towards left field. Rosario's going to go back towards the warning track. At the track, brings it in for out number 2. The run's going to score easily on a sac fly RBI by Brad Zunica. So there's 2 outs. A run scores, and Tri-City now has a 6-2 advantage.
Jesus Jano.
Santasiero now has nobody on base behind him. First pitch home, put off towards the left side. Rosario seems to be underneath it. He is for out number 3, but not before another run scores for Tri-City. We head to the bottom of the 8th. ValleyCats now up by 4. Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports is presented by Bud Light. This Bud's for you. Steven Sinsley, J.R. Davis, and Zach Biermann due up in the half inning for the Otters. Lots left to do. Then to come back in. First pitch by Sinsley, cranked to right field. McCusker is going to watch it fly into the Corona patio deck for a home run.
That ball has been exterminated by exterminated.
My goodness, Steven Sinsley smoked that one to right field. Right away coming out of the inning. Absolutely picked his pitch and sent it to right.
Third baseman, number 2, J.R. Davis.
Evansville still trails by 3, still has work to do. J.R. Davis, Zach Biermann, and Jeffrey Baez still due up here in the half inning. Davis thus far, 0 for 2, a walk to his name already. First pitch home is a called strike 1. Adam Hofackett trying to stay composed up there on the bump. He gets a called strike 2 now. Ball bounces in, gets all the way past the catcher Elder. Won't matter with nobody on. Count goes to 1-2. Long wait from Hofackett as they get set for the 1-2. And it's a called strike 3. J.R. Davis is going to sit down with a strikeout looking. That's the first strikeout of the game for Hofackett. 5th one of the game for Tri-City.
First baseman 45, Zach Biermann.
So that brings up Zach Biermann, who's 0 for 3 in the game. Looking to keep together a solid weekend. First pitch comes home for ball 1. By the way, with Miles Gordon's single earlier in the game, he extended his hit streak to a team-high 13 games. Highest one the season the Otters have seen this whole season. 1-0 to Biermann. Swinging strike 1. Evens the count up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Counts evened up at 1-1. It's pushed out foul to the left side. Huge gap yet again on that left side of the infield. The 1-2. High outside again. Make it 2-2. So a chance for Zach Biermann to keep himself alive in the count. The 2-2. Pushed out towards the left side foul. Chasing after it is Parks. He's going to run out of
His construction. Choose the best. Never regret it.
Biermann will keep the count right at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. Off the handle of the bat, back into the netting. Good work from Biermann to keep himself alive. 2-2. Low inside. Make it a full count now for Zach Biermann. Make it a 3-2 payoff pitch for Biermann. Pushed foul to the right side into the hands of Billy Easley. Nice play over there by him. Three balls, 2 strikes for Zach Biermann. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Stays way inside. I think it might have actually hit him. But it is a free base for Zach Biermann. Brings Jeffrey Baez to the plate now. With 1 out and a runner on. Biermann a little bit shaky on his right ankle that was just hit. Gets himself down to first.
Right fielder 33, Jeffrey Baez.
Augie Gallardo starting to throw for the Otters down in the right field bullpen. If Jeffrey Baez can get this one to leave the yard, it would change this game dramatically. Baez is certainly due for a home run. Baez skies 1 foul behind home plate. Gets out of play. He's back in the count 0-1. 0-1. Baez sends it chopping to the left side in the glove of Parks. To second for one. To first. Not in time to get Baez. And it'll just be a 5-4 fielder's choice. That allows Baez to reach and gets Biermann on his way to second. 2 outs. Runner at first here in the 8th. Otters still trail by 3.
Shortstop, number 8, Andy Armstrong.
Andy Armstrong making his way to the plate now. 2 outs, 1 on. The throw out to second. There will be no throw because of a poor exchange by Elder. Baez has himself a stolen base. So the count's at 1-0 for Andy Armstrong. There's 2 outs, runner at second. Otters just need to keep the line moving right now. Pitch stays low and outside for ball 2. A 2-ball, no strike count to Andy Armstrong. 2 outs, runner at second, bottom of the 8th. Armstrong hits it hard to the left side through. There goes Baez rounding third. The play at the plate will not be in time, and the Otters are within 2 after an RBI single from Andy Armstrong. Baez had every intention of scoring on that play. The Otters are not out of it yet. The meeting at the mound, and before the meeting can even happen, a pitching change is going to happen. We'll let you know who's coming in for Tri-City right after this, as the Otters have pulled within 2. Exciting finish coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network. New pitcher for Tri-City, as Trey Cochran-Gill is going to get the nod out of the bullpen, trying to keep these Otters at bay as they try to come running back into this one. All the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solution. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Cochran-Gill on the mound. Elder behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or give them a call at 812-475-9000. Justin Felix had a double his last time up, came around to score. Miles Gordon's RBI fielder's choice. He's got a chance to keep this inning alive with a 2 outs, 1 runner on opportunity. He hit a home run in last night's game. 1 here would make this a totally new ball game. Augie Gallardo continues to warm up for Evansville out there. But Logan Sawyer is ready to jump up if needed. First pitch to Justin Felix. Low and outside. 4-1. There's 2 outs and a runner at first in the form of Andy Armstrong, who just brought a run home on an RBI single. The 1-0 to Felix. Pushed out towards the left side foul. Parks chasing towards it in foul territory, and it'll drop. One ball, 1 strike.
All right,
Catcher
just construction. She's the best, and regret it.
Still 2 outs, still runner at first. A 1-1 for Felix. It sends off the handle of the bat off right back behind home plate.
Overhead foul ball brought to you by Eds Construction.
And Felix drops back to the count 1-2. Felix taking his time to step in, trying to make all that hard work he's put in on his swing mean something here. The 1-2 just misses to the outside edge. The count evens up. 2-2 count. 2 outs, runner on. Evansville trails by 2. Big time opportunity for the catcher Felix. A 2-2 pushed right up the middle. Culver's going to play it over to second for the final out, and we head to the 9th inning. Otters still trailing by 2 here from historic Bosse Field. Top of the 9th we go, and a new pitcher on the mound for Evansville. Augie Gallardo going to try to keep this game right where it's at. Gallardo has really found a lot of time on this team since joining them June 21st. Appeared in a ton of games for Evansville. His most recent last night, where he gave up no runs on 1 hit, 1 2/3 innings of work. He also appeared twice last week. He has not given up a run since the first game at Sussex County, where he gave up 1 in 1 inning. Other than that, he has been rock solid this year. 22 strikeouts to just 4 walks. This call to the bullpens, presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. Gallardo on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher-catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East. Located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. Elder, Piotnik, and McCusker due up in the half inning for Tri-City. Gallardo has a very important job here. You've got to get out of the inning without giving up a run and give the Otters a chance to come back from 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. So Austin Elder making his way to the plate now. So far, Elder has not actually had the chance to bat yet. He subbed in right after Joey Campagna's 2-run home run. First pitch home. It's a called strike 1. The 0-1 to Gallardo. Sent foul to the left side. Gallardo's ahead in the count 0-2. Don't forget that the Otters continue their season on Tuesday night at Lake Erie. They'll be in Avon for the next 3 nights this week. 3 big games against a red-hot Crushers team. Ball sent out towards left field. Rosario runs towards it. It'll drop in front of him for a base hit. So that brings up Mitch Piotnik with a runner on and nobody out here at the top of the 9th.
Center fielder, 10, Mitch Piotnik.
For Evansville's games, they're at Lake Erie. They are set for 7 p.m. first pitches, and even each of those nights. You can watch Lake Erie's broadcast on Flow Sports, or you can join me and a special guest this week on the Otters Digital Network right here on our YouTube page for audio only. And we'll bring you every pitch all week long. 0-1 to Piotnik. A half swing. No, he did not go, so the count evens up at 1-1. Again, it's 7:05 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Evansville at Lake Erie before the Otters come home to face Gateway next weekend. Ball is fouled back into the backstop as Piotnik falls back 1-2. Piotnik ready in the box as the 1-2 comes home from Augie Gallardo. Big curveball falls in for a called strike 3. It's a German American Bank strikeout for out number 1 of the night.
German American Bank strikeout.
So that will bring up the 9-hole hitter, right fielder Carson
Right fielder,
McCusker.
33, Carson McCusker.
His last time up, he had a solo shot off of the second layer of billboards out and left. Hard hit ball out there. First pitch is ball 1 to McCusker. Gallardo delivers on the 1-0. It's a called strike that evens the count up. Now even at 1-1. Elder stands on first after his leadoff walk. The strikeout to Piotnik has Gallardo in a chance with 1 out and 1 on. 1-1 falls too far inside for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike for McCusker. Again, too far inside. Make it a 3-1 count. One out, 3-1 count to McCusker. Stays high, ball 4, and there's runners at first and second now in the top of the 9th. So we go back to the top of the order once again. Cito Culver makes his way to the plate. 0 for 4 on the day.
Shortstop, 27, Cito Culver.
In fact, Culver is one of just 2 ValleyCats who have yet to reach base safely in this game. He and Mitch Piotnik. First pitch home, stays maybe inside a bit for ball 1. Gallardo resets, 1-0 count, runner behind him at first, and runner to his right side at second, just 1 out. Ball sent foul to the right side, will get out of play. And Culver's count evens up at 1-1. The count home towards Cito Culver. And time is called. A 1-1 for Cito Culver. Comes in for a called strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes. This would be a big out for Gallardo to get. The 1-2 is off the end of the bat towards shallow left field. Rosario charging in. He'll grab it for a single to Cito Culver. The bases are loaded with just 1 out. If runs score here for Tri-City, Otters
Second baseman
might be out of this one for good. 2 is already a difficult deficit for your bottom of the 9th. Otters cannot afford to make it even more. First pitch to Brantley Bell. Ball's in for a called strike 1 on the outside edge. Otters trying to avoid another series loss here tonight. The 0-1 outside. On July 6th, the Otters had their final win of a 9-game winning streak. Since then, the Otters have not won a series. They tied the series and split it with New York a couple of days ago, but other than that, every series has been a 1-2 loss. 1-1, half swung on, it's a called strike 2. Did want to update you in the Frontier League. Washington, Quebec tied at 4 runs apiece in the top of the 9th. The Otters are going to fall here. They are praying that Washington falls in that final game. 1-2, lifted out towards center. Ward's going to chase in. It drops in front of him, and it goes off his glove. 1 run's going to score. Now a second run might be caught. Gets away from Felix, and 2 runs are going to score. So Elder scores easily. McCusker scores as a part of probably the
Third
error.
baseman, 13, David Marks.
And Culver's going to reach second. Or sorry, Culver reaches third. Bell reaches second. So Paven Parks now at the plate with 1 out, runners at second and third. It's now an 8-4 advantage for the ValleyCats. That one might be too much for Evansville to come back from. Now throwing for the Otters out there in the right field pen is Jake Polancic. First pitch home to Pavin Parks. Cranked down the right field line, but foul. No balls, one strike for Pavin Parks. Runners at second and third. The Otters are playing in, trying to avoid giving up any more runs. 0-1. Stays low for ball one. Count evened up at 1-1 for Pavin Parks. There's one out. Runners in scoring position. Pitch coming home, and it's cranked down the right field line again. This one is yet again foul. Went up in the picnic area down there. Tri-City falls back in the count 1-2. Pavin Parks will have to fight from behind. A 1-2 to Parks. Put out towards left center field. Down for a base hit. One run's going to score. Two runs are going to score on an RBI double from Parks. It's his second double of the game. And just like that, this game has gotten very out of hand from the Otters in the top of the ninth. It's now 10-4. Otters trailed by just two coming into the inning, and that's going to do it for Augie Gallardo. Polancic's going to come in. We'll tell you more about him right after this as Evansville now down 6 at the top of the ninth. Well, we're still in the top of the ninth inning. And this game's starting to get away from the Otters. 10-4 now in favor of Tri-City. Jake Polancic's going to get the nod out of the bullpen to help out Augie Gallardo here in the top of the ninth. This call to the bullpen is presented by our friends at Business Communication Solutions. Contact BCS for all your business solution needs. It's Polancic on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road. Give them a call at 812-475-9000. First pitch home from Jake Polancic. Stays low and outside for ball one. Dennis Phipps trying to bring in more for this Tri-City club. The 1-0. Called strike one, evens the count up. One ball, one strike. Pitch coming home towards Dennis Phipps. That one's fouled into the home plate umpire, Roberto Pattison. The count falls to 1-2. Be a big out to grab for Jake Polancic. One runner on. That's Parks out there at second. The 1-2 to Dennis Phipps. Bounces in for ball two, and Felix is going to throw out to second, but the throw's high, so Parks is going to get himself back in safely. Two balls, two strikes to Dennis Phipps with one out and a runner out at second. Polancic readies himself on the bump. And here comes the 2-2. Outside, good stop from Felix as the count goes full. Three balls, two strikes to Dennis Phipps. Polancic gets a half swing. It won't matter. It's ball four. And there's runners at first and second now with just one out.
First baseman, 48, Brad Zunica.
So now Brad Zunica heads to the plate with one out. Runners at first and second. 4 runs have already scored for Tri-City in this half inning. First pitch home to Zunica. Inside for ball one. Zunica on the day is 1 for 3. A single back in the second inning and a sac fly in the eighth. A 1-0 to Brad Zunica. Again, low and inside is ball two. Two balls, no strikes to Brad Zunica. Crank down to right field. Baez chasing back towards the wall. They're out mid-deep right center field, and it's brought in for out number 2. Baez took off towards the warning track and then had to come running back inwards as the ball kind of died midair. But Parks is going to reach third on the sac fly. With 2 outs, there's runners on the corners for Jesus Lujano. Two outs. Runners on the corners. Jake Polancic just needs to get this final out. Comes in for a called strike one. Polancic taking his time up there, ready for the 0-1 to Jesus Lujano. Ball is sent foul to the left side, well out of play. And it's a chance for Plancic to end the inning. Otters are going to have a lot of work to do in the bottom of the ninth. Plancic nods home at his catcher, Felix. The 0-2 on the way. And it's just barely fouled into the netting on a check swing from Lujano. To the count to Lujano. And time was called. The 0-2 for Lujano, put out towards left field. Rosario chasing over towards left center. There's out number 3. Otters have a ton of work to do in the bottom of the ninth. The finale of this one coming at you next on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. There we go. All comes down to this. The Otters thought they were going to potentially come into this bottom of the ninth down by 2, but 4 ninth-inning runs have them down by 6. A whole lot of work to do. It'll start with the 9-hole hitter, Tyler Dones. But Dones is going to be pinch hit for Elijah McNamee.
Please now batting for Evansville, Elijah McNamee.
Big hit Matt, going to try to come in and be a clutch opportunist for Evansville. McNamee's first opportunity of the night. It's on the way. Taken for a called strike 1 on the inside edge. Ball sent foul to the left side. And the count falls to 0-2. Elijah McNamee down 0-2 at the plate, batting in the 9-hole. Push to the right side, foul. Will end up near the Otters bullpen. Three at Lake Erie. Big games for Ottawa before the Otters coming up next. Then it's Gateway back here at Bosse Field next weekend. If you want tickets for those games, you can get them at EvansvilleOtters.com or stop by the box office anytime this week. And our lovely staff can hook you up with tickets. Tri-City, who's going to be playing Ottawa. 3 at home against Ottawa. And Elijah McNamee is going to strike out to start off this bottom of the 9th inning.
Edward Jones, leadoff man of the game, number 6.
Miles Gordon, the Edward Jones leadoff hitter of the game, makes his way to the plate. Gordon has 2 separate 9th inning home runs this year. Both of them tied the game in the bottom of the 9th. Unfortunately for him, he cannot do that here. First pitch to him, bit outside for ball 1. Rosario's on deck for Evansville. The 1-0 coming home. Sent on a line towards Bell at second, and it's over his glove into right field. And Miles Gordon's going to keep the line moving in this scenario. Brings up
left fielder
Brian Rosario. Rosario is yet to get a hit in this game after having such a successful night last night. Former University of Illinois Chicago man. In fact, he joined the team while they were at Schaumburg a couple weeks ago. First pitch home to Rosario, fouled back towards the parking lot on the third base side. Or strike 1.
A red foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best and never regret it.
After these last few outs in this last inning, Otters only have 12 home games left. If you want to make it out to Bosse Field, head to EvansvilleOtters.com and pick out your perfect game. And also pick a day if you want to explore one of our many party options. Bring out the friends or family. Give our front office a call at 812-435-8686, and they can help you out, pick out the perfect group outing for you. 1-1 to Rosario. Stays inside for ball 2. Rosario trying to keep the Otters alive here in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-1 coming home. Sent foul off towards the lot again. Just a little late to a couple of these pitches. Miles Gordon standing over at first with 1 out. Otters trail by 6 here in the 9th. Called. Strike 3. Rosario is going to sit down on the strikeout looking. And the Otters are down to their last out of this one. Steven Sinsley making his way to the plate now. Last time up,
21, Steven
solo home run to right. Hard hit ball into the Corona patio deck. Unfortunately for Sinsley, a home run here only brings the Otters to within 4. So it doesn't do too much. First pitch to Sinsley. In for a called strike on the outside edge. No balls, 1 strike to the DH, Steven Sinsley. Stays low for ball 1 that evens the count up. Another pitch comes in outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count now to Steven Sinsley. A 2-1 zoom to right field towards the wall at the warning track. It's brought in by Piotnik for out number 3, and that's how this one ends.
And so
Evansville falls 10-4 in the series finale against Tri-City.
10, Evansville 4, 10-12-1.
And the Otters will now have to hit the road to take on a very good Lake Erie team up next. This is a game for Evansville where it felt like in the middle innings, Evansville had what it took to win the game. Kept putting themselves arm's distance away, keeping themselves close, finding ways to make things interesting here and there. Then finally that ninth inning came, and that's when it really got away from Augie Gallardo, giving Tri-City plenty of breathing room. They were able to coast in to this 10-4 win. Evansville will take the rest of the week away from Bosse Field as they're, like I said, in Avon, Ohio. The Lake Erie Crushers Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights before coming back here on Friday night to face the Gateway Grizzlies. Want to check in on a couple of the final scores around the league. Of course, Sussex County defeated Florence earlier today. Schaumburg defeated Ottawa earlier today. Trois-Rivières defeated Joliet earlier this evening. And Windy City came from behind to defeat Empire State in the ninth to win that one. We've got a couple of games that are just about over or just finished. New Jersey did defeat Lake Erie 14-3. At the top of the seventh, New York trails at Gateway 6-0. And we need extra innings in Washington. Quebec and Washington tied at 4 runs apiece. Exciting one there. Hop on to FrontierLeague.com to keep up to date with how that one finishes. With the Otters losing today, they're hoping Washington loses as well so that they can keep the gap at 4.5 games. Been a pleasure joining you all week long for Otters baseball here from historic Bosse Field. Otters are only able to take 2 of the 5 games they play here this week, as of course that New York series got shortened by a game, and then this one ends in rather unexciting fashion for the Otters. They fall 10-4 to the Tri-City ValleyCats. They've concluded their time this season against the East Division, and from here on out, it's the push to the playoffs against the West Division. It starts Tuesday night at Lake Erie, a Crushers team that is on a very good spell of baseball. We've got the call for you starting at 6:50 on the Otters Digital Network on Tuesday evening. For all of us here at the Evansville Otters, I've been Matthew Wills saying so long from historic Bosse Field. I'll talk to you on Tuesday night.